dies out, we'll say government's overreacted. However, if 2 days from now we find out that there are 4,000 cases in California, there are 2,000 cases in Japan, we'll have a very, very different view. So I think we're about 2 weeks away from really having a better conversation on this issue.
Kirby, did this ever worry you, this whole H1N1 thing? You have 2 young daughters at home here in Hong Kong, and, you know, you have a family to take care of. Did this worry you?
It worried me at the beginning, of course. We didn't know, and at the time that this quarantine was implemented, I still had some worries in my mind, and I think Willie hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is the ultimate armchair quarterbacking. You know, 7 days later, we're seeing the results, and we can judge them then, and that's not really fair, especially with what Hong Kong went through with SARS. Obviously now, you know, we didn't take extreme measures, but we did take a few precautions. We didn't cancel any trips, but we didn't put a deposit down this summer in Southern California. We'll probably do that in a couple of weeks.
Willie, you were just off the plane from Denpasar, Bali, where the ADB shindig was going on. This was a subject on the tip of tongues there.
It was. There were a lot of face masks in the elevators of the conference hall. In my hotel, the staff was wearing face masks. You know, yesterday I was flying back from Indonesia, as you say, and I was in the airport and I sneezed. And you could see the body language of people around me, you know, mothers practically hiding their kids. And he could be American. So it was a very, very interesting experience. But yeah, I mean, it was certainly something people were talking about. However, luckily, Indonesia, at least a couple of days ago, or at least as from what we know now, doesn't seem to have any cases. So perhaps it was a good place to hide out. But I don't know. I mean, it certainly is. It's one of those imponderables. It's one of those wild cards hanging over the global economy. And you really think about it, this is sort of the last thing that we needed at this point. I mean, don't we have enough to deal with?
Yeah, we do have enough to deal with. In fact, there are conspiracy theories that abound, Willie, Kirby, that this was actually not only manufactured, but it was pounced upon by authorities trying to deflect attention from the fiscal matters at hand.
Or terrorists. I've seen on blogs, I've seen terrorists being blamed for this as well. This is some kind of stealth attack.
I mean, there was even a comment from an Egyptian official that they admitted, where he came out and pretty much all but confessed that they took advantage of the situation to cull the 300,000, 400,000 pigs because of some unwieldy and sort of raucous pork rearing methods at times.
I guess I wouldn't say that was a global reaction, but probably various governments, various administrations took advantage of it in different ways. If they did, I'm not going to say there was a conspiracy theory, but I will say that it could have had a much bigger impact on markets and on markets in general. It wouldn't have had time to filter through to the economy. But the markets didn't really react to it. There was pretty level-headed response, I have to say, by the markets, which was surprising because we're at what could be the top of a bear market rally in my view, and I thought it could have had a much more devastating
impact. It's almost like zero impact, wasn't it?
It really was.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, Willie, you were saying?
No, I think one of the things about this I find so interesting is even just the debate about the name swine flu. You know, Barack Obama is now referring to it by its clinical name, but you know, you have pig producers who are upset about the use of swine flu. Some Muslim groups and Jewish groups have taken exception. Mexicans are upset about this being called the Mexican flu. So what do you even call it? It's sort of a nice part or sideshow to this whole event.
Well, I've been calling it the Mexican flu and making a lot of enemies.
I can imagine
in that part. So I'm just calling it the flu now.
The flu.
And that seems to register.
Well, the question really is, I mean, again, I think the big story here is this the big one, or is this the Y2K of health crises all over again? At the moment,
Y2K was nothing. What are you talking about?
But that's what I mean. You know, there's this panic ahead of time, and then we wake up one day and say we wasted $30 billion worrying about SARS, and we wasted more money worrying about this one. But we really are a couple weeks away from knowing which it is, the big one or Y2K.
Well,
and there was the conspiracy theory that the WHO just wanted to get some attention and more funding too. So
yeah, Margaret Chan, the Director General from Hong Kong, hasn't been in the news for. Listen to this, Willie.
Yes.
Kirby. Apparently, this is what's making the flu blogs and the websites. Parents are actually calling into doctors, flu specialists at Weill Cornell Medical College. Says she's getting inquiries whether they should deliberately get children together with somebody sick with H1N1 and infect them, because past history, in some cases, anecdotally, has shown that if you expose yourself, you build up immunity, antibodies to the second or third big wave.
You know that
flu parties.
Yeah, exactly, but there is evidence that this is affecting at the average age of under 15, which is very odd for a flu. It's usually the older, weaker immune systems that are attacked by the flu, and they're saying that maybe it's because the younger people haven't had a lifetime to build up immunity. So as crazy as that sounds, you can see the basis of her thinking.
Listen, Willie, we've got to cut it off there. Thank you for